What's up, Houston?
That was awesome. Here, I can switch.
I always wanted to do that. All right.
There
we go.
There we go.
Trey, you get that one? I'll start us off. Test. Everybody can hear me now and clear? Yeah. I'm pretty sure everybody can hear me either way because I'm really loud, but...
It's a lot cooler if you're talking to the microphone, then.
It's what?
It's a lot cooler if you're talking to the microphone.
Yeah, it is a lot cooler to talk into a microphone. So, our podcast is going to be centered around the topic of cosplay is for everyone. It's a topic that is near and dear to our hearts, literally on our shirts. It's on our lanyards. And we are going to start by telling everybody who we are, why we got into cosplay. So who wants to start on the team? Who wants to begin?
You're the ringleader.
I am the founder of Con Culture Podcast, and I can give my reason why I started it. My name is Juan, Juan's alter ego, founder of Con Culture Podcast. The reason I started this was because I wanted to talk about nerd stuff with my friends. That's literally why I started Con Culture Podcast. Come on in, guys, have a seat. I wanted to talk about nerd stuff with my friends, and I got into Gary Vee content that was like, you need to make a podcast. So I did it. I got my friend Lindsay and my friend Tommy, and we made a podcast. Now, to rewind back a little bit, I got into cosplay because I opened a gym that was like nerd themed. So I've loved comic books since I was a kid, and I opened a gym and I made it like superhero themed. It was called Alter Ego Gym, and there was like a giant Hulk mural on the wall. It was a really cool gym. It was a nerdy gym. But again, I wanted everybody to feel welcomed. And I got in contact with this organization at the time. I believe it was Heroes of San Antonio. I'm messing up the name, but it was a nonprofit. And they would dress up in cosplay and they would go to hospitals and visit kids who were terminally ill. And they would visit homeless shelters and the battered women and children's shelter. They did a lot of nonprofit work. And that just spoke to me. So that's how I got into cosplay. I got roped into the community and it was immediately positive. We did a lot of cool like hospital visits. We did a lot of cool nonprofit fundraising events. We did Christmas drives, delivering toys, all kinds of stuff. So my like impression of the community was positive out the get. And then the more you're in this community and you're doing cosplay, you'll start getting comments from people that are a little discouraging and judge you for your cosplays or judge you for your fandom. So I wanted to create a space where every fandom would be welcome and every cosplayer would get the credit they deserve. Because I feel like it doesn't matter what your fandom is, you should be able to enjoy it and geek out about it without feeling ostracized or like looked down upon. So that is what's at the heart of Con Culture Podcast. And that's why I got into cosplay. That's what cosplay is for everyone means for me. Literally, whatever your cosplay is, whatever your fandom is, I'm here to root for it. Because there's people out there that hate people for no reason. Think about it. You all know somebody who hates someone for no reason. Then that means I can do the opposite. I can like your cosplay for no reason. I can like you for no reason. So that is why I started Con Culture Podcast, is to spread that positivity and just like people because it's the nice thing to do. And it hopefully will inspire them to keep doing cosplay, keep doing art. And we also proved that you can go viral and get millions and millions of views by being positive, not toxic. So that's what Con Culture Podcast and Cosplay for Everyone stands for. But that's my story. I am going to pass it over to Gigi Ford now to give her origin story.
Man, how am I supposed to follow that? That was beautiful. Hi, I am Gigi Ford. So I started cosplaying. Actually, my first official cosplay was before the word cosplay was around, and I was in high school, and I loved the movie Anastasia. And I was like, how can I look like Anastasia and nobody would know? So I dug in my closet and I found this like tunic that I had and I threw it on and I put on some leggings and I put on some boots and I went to school and I was like, I'm Anastasia and nobody knows. And I got so many compliments and somebody was like, oh my gosh, you look like Anastasia. And I was like, oh, thank you. So I did that in high school. We all like dressing up. We love Halloween. We love all the things about that dressing up and just being somebody else. And so I was like, okay, what can I do to dress up? So I had a birthday party and it was heroes and villains themed. And I dressed up like Poison Ivy, but I did not like any of the costumes that I could find online. So I decided to just find pieces and then hand glue a bunch of ivy leaves all over an outfit. It took me like 50 hours. I was like, oh, I should finish this in like a night. No, I did not. Joke, clown. And I put on, and I felt so cool as Poison Ivy. And then I was hooked. And then maybe a couple of months later, I decided I was really into the Fantastic Beasts movie at the time, and I really liked the character of Queenie. So I commissioned my friend to make a Queenie jacket for me, her little pink coat, and I was like, this is so cool. I feel so cool in this. Like, oh my gosh, like, how fantastic. And then somebody reached out to me on social media and they were like, hey, the new Fantastic Beasts movie is coming out. Would you come and be Queenie at the movie theater? And I was like, that's a thing? Like, you can dress up and do that? Sure.
And get free movies.
Right. Get to see the movie for free. So I go to this event and there was somebody there who was dressed up like Kowalski. And we were like, oh, hi, nice to meet you. He was like, oh, I'm Trey. And I was like, oh, I'm Gigi. And then, we just kind of met and we were like, hey, bye. Like, at the end of the night. Fast forward another few months, I go to PAX South and I dress up like Spider-Gwen and I'm in a photo shoot and I'm like in the middle, like, mid-pose, like, ooh, I'm so cool. And then I see these two gigantic men walk by me. Ogres walk by me. And I realize that it's this guy right here. And I literally stopped. I was like, wait, stop. I know you are Kowalski. And
I think I just happen to have a mustache on because I can't grow a mustache to save my life.
And so I stopped the photo shoot. I was like, hey. And then Trey goes, hey, Juan, you should have her on as a guest on Con Culture Podcast.
He did say that.
And they reached out to me a couple of days later to be a guest, which was surreal. I'm about to cry. Oh my gosh. And it really altered my life for the good because I felt like I was in this community and I didn't have any friends. And then I was invited into this group with open arms, and it really felt like, it's so cheesy that I'm crying right now, but it's the truth. It really altered the whole trajectory of my life. Like Juan said, the whole point of this show is to bring positivity to people, and I really think that we've worked really hard to get to that point. So yeah, that's why I do what I do. I do it, like you said, because we do it for the outcome.
Yes.
And we get to be with cool people, so.
Oh yeah. Krista, you're next.
All right, hold on.
Mark check 1 2 1 2. Just gotta keep it loud.
Hi everybody, I'm Krista Cause. My name is Krista. So I started cosplaying officially, I would say 5 years ago. So before that, I was one of those cosplayers who kind of got into it in the pandemic. And, we were at home all the time. And as somebody who loves like art and, all that stuff, I needed a creative outlet. And so before the pandemic, I am a makeup artist. So I used to do like wedding makeup, bridal makeup, and quinceañera makeup, and I would go and do all that stuff. And then I also self-taught myself special effects makeup, so zombies and demons, anything you can think of. Like, I put that on my face. And so the next step logically for me was to get the costume to match the makeup. So I actually met Gigi back in 2019, and we were kind of like acquaintances back then, but I found out that she cosplayed. A video of hers came across my TikTok feed, and I was like, I know her. And so I ended up reaching out to her, and I pretty much asked her like how to get into cosplay? Like, what do I do? And she kind of just took me under.
Take my hand.
Literally, she took my hand.
Come with me if you want to live.
Ran me down to the deep end of cosplay, and I never looked back. So, that was pretty cool. And she taught me a lot about cosplay and, you know, all that stuff. And then she actually invited me, or she told, you know, Juan and Trey about me, and they actually had me on as a guest. I was a baby cosplayer at the time. I was like, why do they want to hear what I have to say? I have no idea what I'm doing. But they had me on, and they were so positive. And one of their questions was, what's your dream cosplay if money was not an issue? And I remember my answer was Ahsoka Tano. And I can't like things in a chill way, so literally after that interview that I had with them, I went out and I bought stuff to make my own Ahsoka Leku. And I had no idea, again, what I was doing, so I was just winging it. I ended up, you know, a lot of blood, sweat, and tears went into my first Ahsoka Leku. But I finished it in 3 months, and I got to actually wear her for Halloween. So I guess that was kind of like the push I needed, being on the show and then like being asked that question, and it was just like, okay, I'm gonna do it. Now I have an actual Leku, like a silicone one that I commissioned, and I'm so excited to put it all together. I'm going off on a tangent, but yes, that's, they invited me on the show, and I kind of stuck around. Like, I'm just kind of here, wondering if they'll notice how, like, if I just don't move, they won't know that I'm
hats.
here. Yeah.
No, it's like a spider web. Once you're in, there's no getting out.
And so I kind of just kept showing up to things. Like, I just showed up to a con with them one day to help Gigi film, or I went with Gigi to a con when the guys were going to another con, and I was like, yeah, I'll help you out. And then Superhero Con came, and I just kind of showed up again too. And I, you know, was helping them with their booths and all that stuff while they were working. And so eventually they invited me on, and it was awesome. I was like, see, so if you just hang around the people that you want to hang around with long enough, you will make it.
That's actually legitimate advice. Like, if you want to be in a certain circle, a certain space, put yourself in that space. Don't ask for anything. Just kind of like help out where you can. Give, and eventually you become peers. So,
and being around them, I've grown a lot of confidence as a cosplayer. That's the one thing I could like leave you guys with. Surround yourself with positive people, because they're the ones that are going to help you grow and progress in your craft. And I've had a bunch of experiences online, because, you know, the internet can be so mean. If you don't look like a certain character, those fandoms can kind of rip you to shreds. And I have been ripped to shreds so many times on the internet for not looking like a character. And what got me through that was having this group of people with me. Oh my God, now I'm crying. Dang it.
It's contagious. What's funny is I'm the crybaby of the team. I cry all the time.
Yeah, and so being around this group of people really helped me, you know, get through that. And they gave me this confidence of like to keep going, and just, you know, put the cosplay on. Like, it doesn't matter what you look like if you don't match what the character looks like. If you love that character, like, that's going to show through. Go for it, and your light and love for that character is going to show through. So, yeah.
And if you don't get the love you receive, DM us, I will.
Yes.
We will hype
shower
you
you with more attention than you.
We have a lot of love to give.
We do have a lot of love to give. So, yeah, that's my origin story. And just surround yourself with amazing, supportive people, and that lift you up instead of tear you down.
That's awesome. Definitely, guys. Next up, the other band of the hour, HG3 Cosplay. What is your origin story, Higgy?
Yeah, Trey, also known as Higgy. That's a nickname I got from a cosplayer at the convention. I like to go by HGIII or HG3, and somebody read that was as Higgy, and it's just stuck ever since.
Stuck ever since.
I love it.
Higgy's cute.
Oh no, it is. And so yeah, I was that little kid, only child that grew up in front of the television screen with my favorite people, the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, Barney, Peter Pan, and I was that kid that got a Peter Pan outfit and I didn't take it off for weeks at a time. And my mom was just like, I got to get him another one so we can just like swap these out, but he's just not taking it off. So I was that kid that just loved Halloween so much, dressed up all the time. It was like my favorite holiday. It still is. And I remember like in high school, like I took Spirit Week way too seriously. It was like, okay, we're all going to dress up like we're in the 80s. And I was like, I'm all over it.
Yes.
So
Have a Marty McFly on.
exactly. And then like college came through and, saw some people online, they did like some really cool groups. I think they were called, forgive me, I think they were called like Gotham City Public Works. And they were like a group of cosplayers that did like all the Arkham villains. And I saw these people, I'm like, these people look like they could be in movies. Like they look incredible. And that just took a craft for cosplay that I didn't even know existed. And then my buddy told me, he's like, oh yeah, this is the thing. People go to conventions and dress up. And then people ask to take their picture. I'm like, you're kidding me. Like there's no way. So I was in Orlando, Florida at the time where my cosplay journey began. And there was a convention out there. It was called Star Wars Celebration. And my good buddy of mine, he was like, we got to go. And we're going to dress
So
up.
you started with a small,
We started with a very small con.
very small show.
Star Wars celebration.
So like I was like, okay, so what do we do? So we're going to dress up like Jedi. I'm like, okay, cool. And the week before that, there was a little like, it was kind of like the teaser before Galaxy's Edge came out. It was called Star Wars Weekends at Hollywood Studio there. And we tried it out dressed up. And then even then people were like, can we get your picture? You guys are great. And then it just skyrocketed when we went to the convention. And I saw like, these are my people. Like this is the cosplay community. This is amazing. And I was just chasing that high ever since. Like, and then I would go to MegaCon, and then finally came back to San Antonio, and then there was some other local cons that were going around, and then I ran into some great people that I love that did cosplay as well. I'm going to shout him out, David Copeland. He's our favorite firefighter and Batman. And he's the reason that I met Tommy and Juan. They were running a local con. It was great. It was for the kids of San Antonio. It was a free event for them. And I saw that David was going to be like, I want to go say hi to them. This looks like a cool event. Went there dressed as Wreck-It Ralph, and then I met Juan there. He was advertised, Alter Ego Gym. And then I found out he was doing a podcast. And then I ran into him at like Stay in Japan. And again, did a little interview. And then I found my tribe. Because, I found my community. And then within your community, you got to find your tribe. And like, I finally found them. And my life has never been the same since. And
Crying.
yeah.
Now it's your turn.
Emotional right now.
You start crying, I'm gonna start crying. It's gonna get ugly, and then like, we're not gonna get through this thing. But it's just been a crazy journey. And what I love about this podcast so much is, yes, like we get to go to these conventions, we get to interview great cosplayers, but we get to spotlight them. We get to make them feel like the characters and the heroes that they are portraying. And I love doing that, capturing through video. I love doing that through photography, making them feel like I feel like a badass in that photo. And it's like, good, because you look like one. And I want you to feel like that every time like I take a picture of you, or every time we spotlight you in one of our interviews. And as a plus size guy, like I've struggled so much with feeling accepted in the community. Because there's times like I'll put myself out there and I not, what's the word?
Traditional.
Yeah, traditional look for the character. And, I'd get torn to shreds online, and it's awful. And like, it makes you want to look at cosplay. It's like, why am I doing this? Why am I putting myself out there? But then you got to remind yourself, I'm doing it because I love this. And then I'm going to throw another name out there. This is our Lord and Savior of cosplay.
Midnight Mage.
Are you about to
Yes,
say,
we
I
are
knew
the-
we
we are-
can't talk about
We are the
without him.
disciples of Night Mage, and that man changed my complete
Do you
outlook
follow
on life.
him?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He's so great.
And he like, we had him on the show during the pandemic, and that was as awful as the pandemic was. We got to bring so many great people onto the podcast to interview them, and
Man,
he
it was
changed.
5 years ago.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
this
It's been a
time.
while.
Yeah,
It's
he
been a
but
while.
like this time.
He changed my life, and he was just like, you need to look at cosplay as your fan art. He's not to say that Spider-Man is a chunky 300-pound plus guy out there web slinging. It's like, you're right.
Yeah.
There's a multiverse out there. Why not?
Yeah.
And it's changed my life completely.
Yeah.
And yeah, that for me, that's where I believe like cosplay is truly for everyone. Don't let the haters online tell you it doesn't have to be screen accurate.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be canon.
Yeah, it's your fan.
your fan art. And that's why cosplay is for everyone. No matter what your shape is, no matter how tall you are, how short you are, what background you come from, race, you name it. Like, it is your fan art.
Yep. And that's why to sum it up, that's why we made cosplay is for everyone kind of our mantra, our calling. Yes.
We both said the same
Why do we have the same brain? Yes, no, it's kind of our mantra, and it's what we put out into the world so that anyone who's cosplaying can feel like they belong, like they have a space. It doesn't matter, like Trey said, your gender, your age, your size. Do the cosplay you want to do. Show the fandom, the love for the fandom that you have. Display that. And there are people out there that are going to show you love for it. Yes, there are people who will tear you to shreds and say negative things. Those are very unhappy people. And I empathize with them all the time. We get hate online all the time. I get a ton of hate. No, I don't get that much, actually. I'm pretty weird. I'm an anomaly. But when I do, I'm really weird. I'm really weird. If I get a hate comment or a negative comment, I like start talking to the person. Like, hey, is everything good with you? Are you okay? Like, I have had people end up in DMs and I'm like, dude, I'm sorry about that. I didn't mean it. Because who in a good mood is going to go out and like negatively poop on somebody? No one. No one in a good space is going to say those ugly things about cosplay, your cosplay. So if they're saying things about your cosplay, it doesn't look accurate, that character doesn't look like you, they're not in a good space. Like, they're not, since they aren't in a good space, they just want to put that out there. I empathize with them, and
It's like they're projecting because they would never put themselves in that position.
yeah, you gotta know why you're doing it. Like Trey said, I love this fandom. I love Star Wars. I love Star Trek. I love Marvel. I want to portray these characters, and you will find a group of weirdos who like talking about the same stuff, who like going over all the same hypotheticals from who would win in a fight between so and so. Yeah, all the fan castings. It's like, yo, they should have totally casted this person.
Zac Efron should be Human Torch. What are you talking about?
Yeah, all the what ifs, guys. You'll find your people, and you can build an awesome, positive community. And we're grateful to have done that with amazing friends who are super supportive and constantly making new friends all around the country now. Like, we legitimately get to go all over the country and do this thanks to the support of an amazing community that believes in positivity, that believes cosplay is for everyone, and we can have a safe space. As long as you're not hurting anybody, guys, you're welcome in the community. So I want to transition a little bit. We got popular online with our positive content. One of our funniest series that we gotten over 70 million views on this thing is What's Your Cosplay and What Have You Been Mistaken For? It was something that was brewed out of everyone on this stage getting mistaken at the same time. Everybody got mistaken. I think you got Kermit the Frog.
Oh, I got so many. Okay, I was
dressed up like literally the exact same weekend. I was dressed up like Hera from Star Wars. And I got, somebody asked if I was Kermit the Frog. Somebody asked if I was Shrek. I got something else and I don't remember. I was dressed up like Millie from Hell of a Boss. Somebody was like, that's a sick Carlock cosplay. And I was like, you know what? Thank you.
Got it.
I really appreciate that.
Yes.
I don't correct them. I'm like, thank you. I really appreciate that. And then I'm like, dang it. Dang.
Yeah. And it was funny because it wasn't just her. She had her Ahsoka cosplay, looked amazing, but what did they mistake you for, Krista?
Oh God, we're gonna bring back Chestergate, aren't we?
Yes, we are.
So, if you've seen Ahsoka's design, her who kind of has those stripes and stuff. They kind of look like a tiger. So I definitely meant to say that they mistook me for like Tony the Tiger, but
that's not what you
that's
said.
Not what I said. I said Chester the Tiger.
Yeah, she said the Cheeto Tiger.
Oh, I said the Cheeto Tiger.
She got a mix between Chester Cheeto and Tony the Tiger, and this video blew up, got millions of views, and the reason I know it got big because Cheetos themselves commented on the post. Yes, Cheetos themselves weighed in on the post, and we're like, yep. Seems legit. Chester got it, but Trey also got it.
But the thing, hold on. The thing is that you didn't correct me either.
I did not. I was lost.
He was going with it. He was like, yeah,
Cheetah Cheetah.
Yeah.
I love it. They're great.
And then he said that, and then and then
internet ripped you to shreds. The trolls came in and were like, "Oh my god, you're freaking idiots!"
Like,
and I was like,
"How could you mistake Frosted Flakes for Cheetos?"
Cheetos are nothing alike. And what's cool is it went international, so the Brits were like, "Oh, is that what they're called in America?" No, over here they're toasties or something like that.
Being wrong, we were also spreading misinformation. 100%.
We were soiling the brand across the board. But yeah, that series, and Trey was there cosplaying a Jedi, but what did they do?
Well, this was during my bald saga.
It was bald.
Who I again thank for to Night Mage, who convinced me to shave my head.
Yes,
which led to lots of great bald cosplays. I'm like, okay, I'm going to do a bald Jedi cosplay, just generic. We're at a
run-of-the-mill Jedi.
Yeah, there was a lot of Star Wars guests there, so I was like, why not? And I had several people that day just like, Are you from Game of Thrones? Are you that one guy? I'm like, Lord Varys? I'm like, yes, that's the guy. No. I'm just a Jedi. Like, oh, okay, sorry, just the robes and the big bald head. And he's like, yeah, I could see it. So it's hard not to be mad.
The internet was lighting us up for these mistaken cosplays, but cosplayers in the comments started sharing their stories.
Oh, yeah.
They're like, oh, I did this cosplay and was mistaken for X. Or this cosplay and was mistaken for Z. So we put our brains together and we're like,
let's do it again.
We had friends there at the con, Stefania and Jay, Life Like Jay, Stefania, I love them both.
Love you.
We asked them what they were mistaken for, along with Nerd Trap Cosplay. That group was also there, and we asked them, and everybody had it mistaken. That's when we knew we had something.
Outfits.
Yes, from their outfits.
Like that happened that day.
They were steampunk Hogwarts houses, and it was like Mortal Kombat is what they were mistaken for.
Yes.
Like
the yellow guy and the blue guy from Mortal Kombat.
Exactly. It was so fun. That's when we knew we had something special, because now we have a shared story that I think every cosplayer has had happen to them at one point or another, because you're wearing a cosplay, even if you nail it perfectly, screen accurate, doesn't matter. There's someone who's unfamiliar with the fandom or has a very vague memory of it, you're going to get mistaken. So we started asking people at cons, what's your cosplay and what have you been mistaken for? The first one was at San Diego, and that one really was like,
oh my gosh,
that one was so fun.
He was Glass. Yeah, from the movie Glass. And they mistook him for a pimp named Slickback. But what made it horrible...
He sounded like him,
He sounded just like a pimp named
Slickback. Is that Cat Williams?
He sounded like Cat Williams. So the comments blew up. It got over 7 million views.
In like a day.
Yeah.
Like 2 days.
I was going into an interview with the cast of the Hellboy movie, and it was like, boom, 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 100,000, 200,000, 500,000. I was like, what is going on? And the comments were exploding with like, oh, he ain't fooling us. Why is Cat Williams at San Diego Comic-Con? Nah, that's Slickback. I don't care what he said. Homeboy mistook his own cosplay. Like, the comments were hilarious. But what I loved is it spotlighted that cosplayer, T-Pins Co. And that's when I was like, wait a minute. We could spotlight cosplayers and keep positive content that goes viral. So I was like, we're going to become a stage. We're going to be the platform that gives light to so many other cosplayers. And it has led to some amazing stories of people who were like, I was about to quit. I was about to stop cosplaying because of the negativity and the toxicity in the community. And your interview blew up my page and flooded it with amazing, positive people. I was in a bad place mentally before. And you guys are the reason I was able to fight out of it. And I'm so excited for my next con and my next cosplay. Like, those stories are why I continue to do it and why I continue to try to create new ways to build and grow the amazing cosplay con culture community. But what other questions? We also asked what part of the build also broke you. And now that we're testing our skills as cosplayers and advancing it, we have some stories. You I want to talk about your leather work that you just did for the first time.
Yeah.
How did that go?
Yeah.
And what part of the build almost broke you?
Oh, let me tell you. So tomorrow I will be Vexalia from Vox Machina, and the costume that I received from the store that I bought it from, the belt thing was just, it just wasn't, it was cheap and it just wasn't like fitting how I wanted it to fit. It would keep bunching up, and I was like, okay, well, I'm going to learn a new skill, and I'm going to make a new belt with the help of my lovely friend Katie. She really helped guide me on like what to buy, like what kind of leather, because there's so many different kinds of leather.
So you just started at the hardest skill you could find, leather work?
The first thing I ever built was Ahsoka's Leku, so did you expect anything less?
That's true. You did say you don't know how to halfway anything.
No, I go into the deep end.
I see.
So, so I'm making her belt, and I'm patterning it pretty much like myself. I'm just winging it, going off of total vibes. I don't have a pattern, nothing. I'm winging it completely and
Your
trying
vibe
to.
leather working?
Yeah.
I didn't know that was a thing.
Vibe leather working.
That's
so
awesome.
I drew out the pattern myself, and I made adjustments to fit, my own body, and. So I'm putting, I made them to 3 pieces, and I'm like, okay, how do I just have to sew them together. Like, that's so easy. I know how to sew by hand.
How hard could it be to sew leather?
Right? How hard? And the leather is like so thin, and I'm like, this is perfect. I'm gonna finish this in like a day. I'll just watch TV and I'll just do it. Absolutely. No. Clown. Because you apparently need a special needle. You need a special thread that's waxed to go through, easily. And then it's a completely different, like, process of doing it. And then, getting the needle, even though it's a special needle, it's made for this, getting the needle through it was hard. My hands
have a thimble?
No. I was on vibes alone. I didn't know what
I didn't know what a thimble was. I thought that was a Monopoly.
She's like, hold on, let me Google that.
Yeah.
No, I did not have.
Did not have one of those. So, like, I remember my hands were so sore the next day. Like, my fingers were raw where I was trying to pull the needle through and, like, force it through. And it was just...
And did not get it done in the day the way you thought.
I did not get it done in a day. I think I did one side in like a week because I kept having to redo it. I kept having to redo the stitching because the leather pieces would fold over each other in the wrong way, or I would miss a stitch, and I would just mess up the pattern, and I was just like, I almost just quit. Threw myself off of like my balcony.
Quit leather working right at the beginning.
Quit right there. And I was like, no, you can do this. I'm nothing if not determined. And so I ended up, stitching it all together and stitched the other side. It took me a while. Hi. It took me a while to do that, but then
I just got cheered on by Ming Chen. Y'all know who that is? That's a comic book man.
Yes, I know. That's why
That's amazing.
crazy.
Yeah, Trey's.
I can die now. Carry on, Krista. I'm sorry. That just blew my whole mind.
Anyway, it took me about maybe a week or two to finish those two sections of sewing. But then I was like, oh crap, I have to bring it to a con because it wasn't done. And I put it down because I was like, I'm tired. Like, I'm going to put it down. I'll get it back to it later. Weeks go by, months go by. And then
Your brain saved you from the trauma. It tried to shield you from the struggle.
Exactly. And then Katie reminded us that we were probably going to do Vox Machina characters for this con. And I was like, oh, shit. Okay. I still have like 3 belts I need to put onto this belt. And like I have to dye the leather. And I was like, oh, okay.
That's a different kind of motivation, though. An award-winning cosplayer is like, hey, yo, we're not
I'm saying.
You coming? You coming?
So again, I was determined to finish, and so I ended up not sewing the things that I needed to put on there. I just grabbed that contact cement, and I was like, we're done. That's great. It looks, if you don't look at it too closely, it looks
No,
great.
I looked at it closely and still beautiful.
I think it looked awesome. I've only seen pictures, but I thought your cosplay looked amazing.
Oh, thank you. It's always exciting. I was telling the crew, I was like, it's always so exciting when you learn a new skill and then the first thing you ever make with that new skill comes to fruition, and it's a cool feeling. Even though almost just like burned it and just like tossed it away and never tried it again. I was like, I'm done with leather work. I pushed through, I kept pushing, and I mean, it works. It looks nice. It looks okay. It works. I'm excited to keep growing this skill now that I've made my first thing. But I wanted to put my
I'm excited to see what you craft next. Now, Gigi, what part of your cosplay, in all of your cosplays you've made, which one's the one that almost broke you?
I crashed out last night
Oh, wow.
and this morning about my Keyleth cosplay for tomorrow.
Machina.
Her antlers, I don't know if you're familiar with her character design, but she has little antlers that are like coming off her forehead. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, let me get them. I'll 3D print them. We have a great friend who's a 3D printer. But first, I know he just had a new baby. I work at a school. We have 3D printers. I have the files. Great.
How hard could this be?
So I sat there and I never done 3D printing before. And I'm like asking our technology director and I'm like, yeah, can we do this? And she's like, yeah, easy. Firstborn, great. And I was like, oh yes, this is gonna be great. Like, I'm gonna be so wonderful. I'm so excited. I love this character. Secondborn comes out broken. And I was like, that's fine. We still have like 2 weeks until the con. This is in February. So we still have 2 weeks until the con. Let's just print the right horn again. Broken. Something's wrong with the file. So we go in and we're looking at the files. We're like trying to figure out like what is wrong. And she's like, no, maybe let's just try it again. Broken. 3 broken right horns. And so I was like, it's fine. Let me call our friend who has a brand new baby and see if he could do it for me. So I called him and I was like, look, I know this is a lot to ask. If you can't do it, it's fine. Can you print these horns for me? And he was like, yeah, I got you. And I was like, oh, you're an angel. He prints the horns, but they're not going to be ready in time for the con in February. So I was like, that's fine. Go to the con.
Next time.
Yeah, next time when we go to Comicpalooza. So I sat for months with these like finished antlers, not finished, but printed antlers and all the broken remnants around them. And I'm like, please work. So 2 nights ago, I sat there and I was like, oh, I'm going to do it. I'm going to just, you know what? I'm going to put wig clips on them. That'll work. Try the wig clips. They don't work. I don't know if you've ever tried to put 2 curved things on each other, but they gap. I don't know if y'all know that, but they do. I learned that and I was like, okay, great. So I was like, well, let me try a headband. That's my backup plan. A headband will work. I try to glue it to a headband and it does not want to stick to the headband for whatever reason. And I still have so much glue on my hands at this point because my hands are calloused with just so much glue. It's awful. And I was like crashing out last night. This time last night. I'm crashing out. And I was like, I'm never going to do it. I'm never going to have the worst cosplayer in the world. I hate everything. I hate this hobby. I want to quit. And my husband was like, no, you're not going to quit. You've been doing this for like ever. And I was like, I'm going to quit. I'm done. I'm so bad. I'm going to let my friends down. And
this is not an exaggeration, by the way. I don't think this is an exaggeration.
I literally was like, I'm the worst cosplayer. And then Krista was like, hey, I'll bring my antler crown for you.
Yeah, it's a little antler crown.
And I was like, thank you. And so then in the midst of my crash out, I'm like digging through my daughter's like hair clips and everything. And I find 2 janky hair clips and I super glue them. And I was like, I need to let it cure. And then I tried to put it on today, about 4 hours ago, and the antlers don't stick on my head. So, long story short, that broke me. Keyleth from Vox Machina has broken me.
Warning, if you ever try a Vox Machina cosplay, it might break you.
Yeah, I think that's your villain origin story. You gave us not your broke you. So Trey, you have done a number of cosplays that are very creative. I want to know which one of your cosplays broke you.
Before that, I'm gonna reverse it. I'm gonna get back onto you. I know you don't do as much cosplay, but I remember a story that had me in stitches that used to tell me of your Punisher cosplay and how you could not get the paint to stick.
That was my friend. I loved cosplaying, but I have zero skills. Like, I can't assemble Legos.
Me neither.
Like, A&B cannot. So I don't ever make my own cosplays. I have amazing cosplay friends who help me with the process. I'll wear it all day long. I got the play part down.
That's me too.
Play all day, but building it, no, I do not. However, I wanted to do the Punisher. I bought the vest for it. I just needed to spray paint the skull. How hard could it be?
Yeah, just spray paint it on.
Spray paint it on. I mean, there's a stencil, you spray paint. What's the hardest part? So I gave it to a friend, and she was like, what is this vest made out of? I was like, what do you mean? She's like, I spray painted 3 cans of white spray paint into it, and it won't stay. Like, it just keeps drinking it. It just absorbs the paint. So I was like, I don't know. I just got it on like Amazon. It was the only thing that fit me. Like, it was
So is it ready yet?
I was like, is it good? She's like, it doesn't look like the Punisher logo, but yeah, it's done. So I had this Punisher logo that looked like it was hand drawn by a 5th grader, and all he had was marker, and he just went ham with it. Like, there was eyes, and there was like the dripping ink from where she had tried, and it was heavy and still moist in the morning.
It's 3 cans worth of paint.
It's 3 cans worth of spray paint. I think I got like fume poisoning from wearing it all day.
Literally broke you.
That'll do it.
That I think broke a few brain cells, but it was fun. You couldn't tell me otherwise. I didn't have I didn't have props. I had nothing. It was for a nonprofit event that I was being the Punisher for, because that's what you do to raise money. You threaten people. But luckily, there was a Halo cosplayer who was amazing, Dante Axios Cosplay. He was like, yo, if you're the Punisher, man, you need a gun, dog. And he gave me one of his Halo guns. So there I am. And my lovely wife was in cosplay also. So we felt like the coolest people ever. Her cosplay was way better than mine. We had a gym, and there were indie wrestlers in our gym, like Funaki, former WWE superstar and current Japanese announcer, trained students at our gym, and it was so awesome. One of them was a pro costume maker, because he's a pro wrestler. You have to stitch your own stuff. Oh yeah, especially if you're indie. He made her a Dark Phoenix cosplay that was so good, made just for her, custom made. And
The internet.
it's in the internet. I will post it. But I had like the Crayola crayon part. So she looks like Dark Phoenix in the poster, and I'm holding a gun from Halo as the Punisher.
You probably looked so happy.
I was the happiest on planet Earth. Everybody was so sweet and so kind. That was before I like put everything super on the internet, so I didn't get torn apart. I'll post it now. Like, I have ridiculous
I'll
self-confidence.
post my janky.
Yeah, I'm delusional with
That's what I'm
the.
talking about. Like, it doesn't matter what your cosplay looks like.
No.
If you love that character, he was the happiest that day.
You
as
could
the
not bring
Punisher.
me down.
And it just brought a light to the cosplay, and I'm sure it was infectious to everybody else around you.
Yes.
So that's what I'm talking about.
That is what it's about. But Trey, you reverse Uno'd my question. You
I
Uno
had to think more
reverse.
about mine, I'll be honest. I had to think more because there's been
Yeah,
a few
no
words.
worries. All
There's been a few that have like very
Great strategy.
tiptoed
I
me
talked
into
about
madness while making it or putting it together.
Yeah.
But there's one that it wasn't even for a convention. It was for a screener for Captain Marvel.
Okay.
And another shout out, one of my favorite cosplayers, and who is a Con Crunch wizard and queen. She can literally pump out stuff like the night before, and she still does it to this day. One night we're at dinner, and she's like, "Oh, we're gonna go to the Captain Marvel premiere. Do you want to put a cosplay together?" I was like, "I don't have one." She's like, "We'll just put one out." And this is a Paradox cosplay. A good friend here.
I was like,
Yeah. So I know who it is. Tell me the name.
If you were to combine like Sherlock Holmes, MacGyver, and like any other super crafty savvy person, it would be Paradox Cosplay. She can make anything out of whatever is in the living room at the time.
And she hypes you up to believe that you can do it too.
Yeah,
Just
she'll have you drunk on your confidence.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah,
Let's
let's look
do it.
crazy.
We're sitting there, they're like, yeah, let's do it. Let's put some scroll cosplays together in a few hours before we go to the screener.
We're gonna do it.
And like, well, what do we mean? We just need some liquid latex and some paint and we got this. And I'm just like, oh, cool, awesome.
Everyday items.
Go to her house, and I swear, I am in her guest bathroom, just staring at myself in the mirror, like, what the hell am I doing? Like, this is a terrible. I'm just caking layer and layer after latex. Like, this is before I shaved my head, so I had the bald cap on. I'm putting together makeshift ears. I am buried in just liquid latex, and I'm just like, how do I make the chin? I'm like looking at. There were no reference photos out yet from the movie.
No.
So we were just going off like the comic book art, what we thought they were going to look like in the movie, and then I ran out of green paint. I ran out of purple paint, and it broke both of us. As much as I hate to say it, because like I was too prideful that I was too prideful to take it off. You know, it looked like just garbage. Like, I buried that photo. I don't think I even posted it online because I was like,
now we will. Now we're going to.
Yeah, now I'm gonna have to try to find it.
I will find my Janky Punisher if you
Follow
find
us
your...
if you want to see all the janky
Exactly. Follow
cosplays.
at Pop Culture Podcast.
And I will never forget that. Like, I finally finished. Like, this is best it's gonna get. We're gonna miss the movie. Like, I just need to go. Like,
Yeah.
maybe I'll get one photo out of this. And I'm standing in the living room waiting for her, and she's just like, let's just go. It's not like it's just not turning out the way she's a perfectionist, and like in the best way possible. And like, if that broke her, it was just like it broke me too. So it was just like, why did we do that? It's like because we thought we were drunk with power
The night before.
the night of.
Oh, the confidence.
Yeah.
But yeah,
So-
the scroll broke me.
I do love that this panel is an amalgamation of the community and everybody in it, from skill level wise, from can't assemble Legos to leatherworking crafters. Like, we have a wide range of skills, but we all love cosplaying. It really is for everyone, guys. You don't have to be the best at it. You don't have to look just like the character. If you like doing it, find a group of weirdos and do what you love. As long as you're not hurting anybody, do what you love. That's the moral of the story, and that's why we started Con Culture Podcast, and why cosplay is for everyone is such a big thing. And believe in yourself. I'll end it with the biggest tip I can give everybody here, and the reason we've had so much success and we're able to travel around the country, and I honestly believe that we're eventually going to be full-time monetized and we're going to have the ability to continue spreading this message at scale, is because I believe in myself. I believed in us when we had 300 followers, and we are days away from 100,000 followers on TikTok. We got over 140,000 across social medias. And I think it's only going to grow faster because we're doing it for the right reasons, but also because we believe in ourselves. I can do a panel with no one in the room and give it my all. One person, 20 people. We've spoken in front of thousands of people and also spoken in front of a handful of people. And we genuinely appreciated the 1,000 people the same way we appreciated the 5 or 6 people that showed up. That's what it's about. You have to believe in yourself and be appreciative for the journey. It's going to be rough. People are going to troll you. You are going to get negativity, but love yourself enough to continue doing what makes you happy, because cosplay is for everyone. And I will end it on that, because that was cool. That was a good outro. All right, guys.
Follow that.
Yes. I will, I guess, give it to questions. We have some people in here now. And thank y'all amazing people for dropping in. Thank you to our amazing friends who support us. Do any of y'all have any questions about cosplay, content, creation, anything that comes to mind? No? Anybody? Anyone?
I saw your hand kind of go up.
Katie has a question. Katie?
Oh, I didn't see Kate.
Hi.
Do you guys think that the conventions have a responsibility to make an inclusive cosplay space at the convention, and what do you think are some ways they can do that?
Okay, the question is, that is a solid question. Do we think conventions have a responsibility to make an inclusive space for conventions, for cosplayers, and what would be some ways to go about doing that? I have a great answer for this. We are fortunate enough to organize and host the cosplay contest for SpaceCon. And we have a large footprint there. They give us 50 feet of space at a multi-million-dollar show. And the way we try to do it is to get as many people of all talent levels, sizes, skill levels, because at most conventions, judging and contest is reserved for the most skilled, award-winning. What I do when I assemble judges is I get some of those, some amazingly talented ones, and people who are like us, starting at their journey. They don't craft a whole lot, but they love and they've executed the play part. I try to create diversity on the judging stage, diversity in the guest list. We have people who have 5,000 followers and people who have hundreds of thousands of followers as guest cosplayers. So I think, yes, they do have a responsibility. Conventions have a responsibility. And the way they do that is by, with their guests, have diversity in your guests. Have people of all walks of life, different shapes, sizes, colors, followings to give
a nice blend, like a
give a nice blend.
a nice picture of
lead through example. Show the diversity in your guest list, show the diversity in your judges, and you will create that amazing community because everyone will see themselves on stage. And I'll give everybody else a chance to answer.
Another way I've seen this happen at a few cons, and I love when they do this because it's literally an open invitation. They'll do like a cosplay red carpet.
Oh,
and it's like people, it gives their chance, like there's a photographer there, they get to go and literally feel like a celebrity, walk the red carpet and feel included in the cosplay scene. And it's like, that's not hard to do. And it's like, I feel like any convention can do that.
Yeah. And also conventions can do what SpaceCon did. They wanted to create that space. So they went to people in that community. Go to the people in the community that you want to create the community for, and they will help you facilitate how to get people into it. Anyone else have a question? Any other question before we wrap it up? No? We're good? All right. No? All right, guys. Thank you, everyone who stopped in, even if you were just resting your feet. Thank you to everybody on the lives, Facebook, YouTubes. I think our cameras died a while ago, but it was a lot of fun. So thank you guys so much. Yeah, no, I didn't hit record. All
right, we got to do some stuff.
All right.
All right, thank you guys.
Wow.
Thank you guys.